At Metimur, we believe assessment can be done better. You see, the term assessment is broadly used in K-12 education to describe a variety of things. But what does it really mean? At Metimur, we strive to bring clarity to what has been unnecessarily complicated. And let's start with that term assessment. Assessment's like the word lunch. It has different meanings in different situations, and everyone assumes you know the difference. There's the lunch I made for myself from leftovers, which is unique to my nutritional needs, but limited to what's in my fridge. This kind of lunch varies from day to day, much like quick assessments teachers create to check if their students are grasping a new concept. This kind of assessment is unique to student needs and teacher instructional goals at that moment, and it provides short-term information, such as confirming if students are ready to build on the target concept and which students need additional immediate instruction. But just like that lunch I made for myself from leftovers, that kind of test information has its limitations. There's the large banquet lunch, which will vary somewhat day to day within the limited options at the banquet hall, with very few substitution options for individual dietary needs. This kind of lunch also varies from event to event, even when the banquet menu stays the same for years. This type of lunch is much like local assessments, given to groups of students at the same grade level or course across a school or district. This type of assessment provides more general information about where most students are at that point in time. The information it produces may be somewhat comparable across school years, but the small numbers of students make validation challenging, and some results can be misleading, just like how that banquet chicken can sometimes be iffy. Then there's the soup lunch that comes from a can. Now this lunch will taste exactly the same every time you eat it. This week or in 5 years. Although not an exciting lunch, it is one that people often turn to when they feel ill, and it's asked for during food drives. This type of lunch is much like the standardized large-scale statewide assessments because it's designed to be compared across years. The information this type of assessment provides is high level and beneficial for identifying multi-year trends or impact of big events. Just like those cans are a food item that fly off the shelves during an emergency, many are looking to the results of large-scale assessments to analyze the impact of the pandemic. And then there's also the phrase, let's do lunch, which is vague and speaks more to the activity and experience than what anyone actually eats. This is like assessment as a process, or the variety of activities that gauge student progress, and is more of an approach to monitoring student progress with a variety of tools, rather than any specific kind of test. Now, each of these uses of the term assessment are appropriate and yet totally different depending on the situation. Most importantly, the tools used in each situation are purposefully designed to measure different aspects of student learning. Just as my leftovers lunch will never be the same as a shelf-stable canned soup lunch, each has their own place in the larger picture. At Metimur, we believe that students are best served when teachers and school leaders deeply understand assessments and how to fully and appropriately use the information each produces. Whether your primary goal is to tailor instruction for individual students or identifying trends to inform school or district decisions, our team understands assessment from the classroom to large-scale statewide tests and everything in between. We want to help you maximize how every school engages in assessment across all situations because we believe the solution is not more testing, it's doing it better.